Okay, and I think, yeah, I think that's it. Did I forget anyone? Oh, me. I'm Rebecca Bernstein, and I'm doing Juno tonight. Okay, so let me get, here we go. And lights up.
Bosun!
Here, master, what cheer?
Good. Speak to the mariners. Fall to it yearly or we run ourselves aground. Bestir! Bestir!
Hi, my hearts. Cheerly, cheerly, my hearts. Yar, yar. Take to the topsail, tend to the master's whistle. Blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough.
Good boatswain, have care. Where's the master? Play the men.
I pray now, keep below.
Where's the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? You mar our labor. Keep your cabins. You do not assist the storm.
Nay, good, be patient.
When the sea is, hence, what cares these roars have for the name of the king? To cabins, silence, trouble us not.
Good, yet remember whom thou hast aboard.
None that I love more than that I more love than myself. You are a counselor, and if you command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks that you have lived so long, and make yourself ready in cabin for the mischance of the hour. If it so happens, cheerly, good hearts, out of our way, I say.
Sir, I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect gallows. Stand fast, good fate, to his hanging. Make the rope of his destiny our cable, for our own death little advantage. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the topsail, yar, lower, lower. Bring her to try with the main course. A plague upon this howling. They are louder than the weather of our office. Yet again, what do you hear? Shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink?
A pox to your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, uncharitable dog.
Work you then.
Hang, cur, hang, you whoreson, insolent noisemaker. You are less afraid to be drowned than thou art.
I'll warrant him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell, and as leaky as an unstanched winch.
Lay her a hold. See her 2 courses. Off to sea again, lay her off.
All lost, to prayers, it's all lost.
What, must our mouths be cold?
The king and prince at prayers, let's assist them, for our case is as theirs.
I am out of patience.
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards, this wide-chopped rascal. Would thou mightst lie drowning the washing of 10 tides.
Oh, he'll be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it, and gape at which to glut him.
Mercy on us.
Yes,
Farewell, brother.
Let's all sink with the king.
Let's take our leave of him.
Oh, no. Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground, long heath, brown furs, anything. The wills above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
If by your art, my dearest mother, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frotting souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there is no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospera, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater mother.
More to know did never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee, father. Lend thy hand and pluck my magic garment from me. So lie there, my art. Wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art, so safely ordered that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair bitted to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardest cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey, and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, ma'am, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything that image tell me that have kept with thy remembrance?
'Tis far off and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hast. And more, Miranda, but how is it that this lives in my mind? I mean, what seest thou else in the dark backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since. Thy father held the dukedom and its princely power.
Ma'am, are not you my mother?
Thou's my daughter. And thy father was the Duke of Milan, and his only heir and princess no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens, what foul play had we that came from thence? Or blessed wast we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, while we heaved hence, but blessedly hope hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you farther.
My brother, and thy uncle called Antonio. I pray thee, mark me. That a brother should be so perfidious. He whom next thyself of all the world I loved. And to him put the manage of my state, as at that time through all the signories it was the first. And Prospera, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts without a parallel, those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
Ma'am, most heedfully.
Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtopping. You created the creatures that were mine, I say, or changed them. Or else you formed them, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts of the state to what tune pleased his ear. And now he was the ivy which had hid my trunk and sucked my verdure out on it. Thou attendest not.
Oh, good madam, I do.
I pray thee, mark me. I thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind with that which, but by being so retired, o'erprized all popular rate. My false brother awaked an evil nature, and my trust like a good parent did beget of him. A falsehood in its contrary, as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit, a confident son bound, he being thus lauded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, like one who, having into truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory. To credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence his ambition growing, dost thou hear?
Your tale, madam, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between the part he played and him he played it for, he needs will be absolute Milan. Me, my library was dukedom large enough, of temporal royalties. He thinks me now incapable, confederates, so dry he was the sway with the King of Naples to give him annual tribute, to do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom, yet unbowed. Alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens.
Oh, mark his condition and the event. Then tell me if this my dear brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, in lower the premises of homage, and I not know how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan, with all the honours on my brother, whereon a treacherous army levied. One midnight, fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dread of darkness the ministers for the purpose hurried hence, me and my crying self.
Alack, for pity! I not remembering how I cried out then, will cry o'er it again. It is a hint that rings mine eyes to it.
Hear a little farther, and then I'll bring thee to the present business which now upponest, without the which this story most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, child. My tale provokes that question. Dear they durst not, so dear they love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colours fairer painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctly have quitted. And there they hoist us to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim thou was that did preserve me. Thou didst smile infused with a fortitude from heaven. When I have decked the sea with drops full salt, under my burden groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against that should ensue. What should ensue?
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who being then appointed master of his design, did give us with rich garments, linen, stuffs, and accessories, which since have steadied much. So of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmistress, made thee more profit than others can that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, madam, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm?
Note this far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune. Now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence if now I court not, but omit my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant. Come. I am ready now. Approach my Ariel. Come.
All hail, great master. Grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure. Be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel and all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin. I flamed amazement. Sometimes I'd divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, the bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightning, the precursors, oh, the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel, then all afire with me. The king's son Ferdinand, with hair up staring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, "Hell is empty and all the devils are here!"
Why, that's my spirit. Was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. On the sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before, and as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting in his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in the harbour is the king's ship, in the deep nook where once thou calledst me up at midnight to fetch dew from the steel-vexed Bermudes, there she's hid. The mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with a charm joined to the suffered labour, I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they all have met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing that they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time 'twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
How now, moody? What is thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made no mistakings, served without all grudge or grumblings. Thou did promise to bate me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost, and think it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth, when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch, Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast? Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Argier.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount where thou hast been, which thou forgettest. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Argier, thou knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant, and for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthly and abhorred commands. refusing her grand hest, she did confine thee by help of her more potent ministers, and in her most immitigable rage into a cloven pine, within which rift in prison thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died and left thee there. But thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this island save for the son that she did litter there, a freckled whelp, hag-born, not honoured with a human shape?
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Don't think I say so, he that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowest what torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, and penetrate the beasts of ever-angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou murmurest, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say, what? What shall I do?
Go. Make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take the shape, and hither come in it. Go, hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart. Awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, slave, Caliban! Thou earth, thou speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise. When? Fine apparition, my quaint Ariel, hark in thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon this wicked dam, come forth!
As wicked do, as ere my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. The southwest blow on you and blister you o'er all.
For this, be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall forth at vast of night, that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched, as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island, mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou didst take from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and made much of me, wouldst give me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light and the lesser, that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, the brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you, for I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king. And here you sty me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep me from the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with humane care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, tills thou didst seek to violate the honour of my child.
Oh, ho, ho. Would that had been done. Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Calibans.
Abhorred slave, which any prince of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill, I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not savage know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had that in which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hadst deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hagseed hence! Fetch us in fuel, and be quick. Thou art best to answer other business. Shruggest thou, malice? If thou neglect'st, or dost unwillingly what I command, I will rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No. Pray thee. I must obey. Her art is of such power to control my damn's god Setebos and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence.
Come unto these yellow sands and take them hands. Curtsied when you have and kissed the wild waves whist. Footed featly here and there and sweet spites bear the burden. Hark, hark, burden. Oh, that's a stage direction. Bow wow, the watchdogs bark. Bow wow. Hark, hark, I hear the strain of strutting chanticleer. Cry cock-a-diddle-dow.
Where should this music be? In the air of the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island, sitting on a bank, weeping again the king, my father's wrack. This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion, with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but 'tis gone. No, it begins again.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones are coral made, those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer us he change into something rich and strange. Seen him sourly ring his knell. Hark now, I hear them. Ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringed curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yond.
What is't? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, madam, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, child. It eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have such. The gallant which thou seest was in the rack, and but he's something stained with grief. That's beauty's canker. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows and strays about to find him.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Oh, sure, the goddess. on whom these airs attend, vouchsafe my prayer, may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give. How may I bear me here? My prime request, which I do less pronounce is, oh, you wonder, if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens, I am the best of them that speak this speech, were I but where 'tis spoken.
How? The best? What wert thou the King of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders, to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eye never since Adab beheld the king my father racked.
Alack for mercy.
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan, and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee, if now it were fit to do it. At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I will set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my mother so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw, the first that e'er I sighed for. Pity moved my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin and your affection had not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir. One word more. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make. Lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more. I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy, to win it from me, the lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come. I'll manacle the neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots and husk wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear mother, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What, I say? My foot, my tutor? Put thy sword up, traitor. Thou makest a show, but darest not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy word, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Beseech you, mother.
Oh, hence! Hang not on my garments.
Madam, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou thinkest there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish child, to the most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wrack of all my friends, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid, all corners also the earth, let liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Follow me. Hark, that thou shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My mother's of a better nature, sir, than she appears by speech, and is unwanted, which now came from her.
Thou shalt be as free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come follow. Speak not for him.
Mute. Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause. So have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant and the merchant, have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in million can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him or so.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Sir,
One, tell.
when every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer.
$1.
Dolour comes to him, indeed, you have spoken truer than you purposed.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lord.
Aye, what a spendthrift is he of his tongue.
I prithee, spare.
Well, I have done, but yet.
He will be talking.
Which of he or Adrian, for a good wager, first begins to crow?
The old cock.
The cockerel.
Done. The wager?
A laughter.
A match.
Though this island seemed to be desert.
So, you're paid.
Uninhabitable and almost inaccessible.
Yet?
Yet.
Could not missed it.
It must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Oh, temperance was a delicate wench.
Aye, and a subtle, as he most learnedly delivered.
The air here breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs, and rotten ones.
Or as twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground is indeed tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
as many vouched rarities are,
that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, holding notwithstanding their freshness and gloss, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies?
Aye, or very falsely pocket up his report.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we put them on first in Afric, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the king of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
Tunis was never graced before with such a paragon to their queen.
Not since widow Dido's time.
Widow? A pox o' that, how came that widow in? Widow Dido.
What if he had said widower and Aeneas too? Good Lord, how you take it?
Widow Dido, said you? You make me study of that. She was of Carthage, not of Tunis.
His Tunis, sir, was Carthage.
Carthage?
I assure you, Carthage.
His word is more than the miraculous harp.
He hath raised the wall, and houses too.
What impossible matter will he make easy next?
I think he will carry this island home in his pocket and give it to his son for an apple.
And sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands.
Aye.
Why, in good time.
Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
And the rarest that e'er came here.
Bait, I beseech you, Widow Dido.
Oh, Widow Dido, Widow Dido.
Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it. I mean, in a sort.
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there, for coming thence my son is lost, and in my rate, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. Oh, thou mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may yet live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water whose enmity he flung aside and breasted the surge most swole that met him. His bold head, 'bove the continuous waves he kept, and oared himself with the good arms in lusty stroke to the shore that o'er his wave was borne basest bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, no, he's gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss, that would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eye, who hath cause to wet the grief on't.
Pretty peace!
You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise, by all of us, and the fair soul herself, weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business's making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
So is the dearest of the loss.
My dear Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness, and time to speak it in. You rob the sore, and should bring the plaster.
Very well.
And most chirurginiously.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather?
Very foul.
Oh, had I plantation this isle, my lord.
Did so with nettle seed.
Or docks, or mallows.
And were the king on it, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I would, by contraries, execute all things for no kind of traffic, would I admit no name of magistrate. Letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, and use of service, none. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard, none. No use of metal, corn, or wine, or oil. No occupation. All men idle, all, and women too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
Yet he would be king on it.
The latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce, without sweat or endeavor, treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine, would I not have, but nature should bring forth of its own kind, all voice and all abundance, to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among his subjects?
Nope, men, all idle, whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
Save his majesty.
Long live Gonzalo!
And do you mark me, sir?
Prithee no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen who are of such sensible and nimble lungs that they always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow was there given!
And it did not fallen flatlong.
You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue in 5 weeks without changing.
We would do so, and then go a bat fowling.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you. I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me to sleep? Oh, I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What? All so soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would, with themselves, shut up my thoughts, I find they are inclined to do so.
Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch you safely.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink?
No,
I find myself not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent, and they dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian, oh, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in my face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping on thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it that thou didst say? This is a strange repose, to be asleep, with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lets thy fortune sleep, die, rather, winkst, whilst thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be too, if heed me, you which to do trebles the o'er.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so. To ebb hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how the purpose cherish whilst thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed most often do so near the bottom, run by their own fear of sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee and a birth indeed, which owes thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here persuaded, for he's a spirit of persuasion only, professes to persuade the king's sons alive. 'Tis an impossible that he's undrowned, as that he sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis, she that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life, she that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post, the man in the moon too slow till newborn chins be rough and razorable, she that from whom all were sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what to come in yours and my discharge.
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so she is heir of Naples, twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shalt that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that now hath seized him. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule that Naples, as well as that now there be Naples as well, that he sleeps lords that can prate, and amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo, I myself could make a cough of as deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your sister Prospera.
True. And look how well my garments sit on me, much feeder than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they are my men.
But for your conscience?
Aye, sir, where lies that? If it were a kib, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel now this deity in my bosom, 20 consciousness that stand betwixt me and Milan candied by they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lie upon it. If he were that which now he's like, that's dead, whom I with obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever, whilst you, doing this, to perpetual wink for an eye, might put the ancient morsel, this prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gotst Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
Oh?
My master through his art foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, for else his project dies, to keep them living. While you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware, awake, awake.
Then let us both be sudden.
Oh, now, good angels preserve the king!
Why, how now? Ho! Awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What is the matter?
Whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing, like bulls or rather lions. Did not wake you. It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
On my honor, sir, I heard humming, and that is strange one too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried as my eyes opened. I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise. That's verify. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats on Prosper fall and make him by inchmeal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll not pinch, fright me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire. nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way unless he bid them. But for every trifle are they set upon me, sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me and after bite me, and then like hedgehogs which lie tumbling in my barefoot path and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometimes am I all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, here comes a spirit of his to torment me for bringing in wood slowly. I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor if it should thunder as it did before. I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? Oh, fish! It smells like a fish, a very ancient and fish-like smell, a kind of not of the newest, poor John, a strange fish. Ugh. Were I in England now, as once I was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there, but would give a piece of silver, there would be this would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. When they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lay out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man, and his fins like arms. Ooh, worm on my trough. I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. The storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. Oh, there's no other shelter hereabout. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to sea, here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, and Marion, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate. For she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, go hang. She loved not the savour of tar nor of pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where'er she did itch. Then to sea, to boys, and let her go hang. This is a scurvy tune too, but here's my comfort.
Do not torment me! Oh!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon us with savages and men of Ind? I have not scaped drowning to be afeard now of your 4 legs. For it hath been said, as proper a man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give ground. And it shall be said so again, while Stephano breathes at nostrils.
The spirit torments me. Oh!
This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs, who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief, if it be but for that. If I can recover him, keep him tame, and get to Naples with him. He is a present from any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He is in his fit now, and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If he have never drunk wine afore, it will go near to remove his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I will not take too much for him. He shall pay for him that hath him, and that soundly.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou will anon, I know it by thy trembling. Now, prosper works upon thee.
Come on your ways, open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. This will shake your shaking, I can tell you, and that soundly. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be. Oh, but he's drowned and these are devils. Oh, defend me!
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come. Amen, I will pour some in thy other mouth.
Stefano?
Doth thy other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy, this is a devil and no monster. I will leave him. I have no long spoon.
Stefano! If thou be Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard, thy good friend, Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by thy lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou to be at the siege of this moon calf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed with a thunderstroke. Oh, but art thou not drowned, Stefano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. And art thou living, Stefano? Oh, Stefano. 2 Neapolitans escaped.
Oh, prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they not be sprites, that's a brave god and bears celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butt of sack, which the sailors heaved overboard. By this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with mine own hands, since I was cast ashore. Amelia, did your sound cut out? Okay.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear then how thou escapest.
Swim ashore, ma'am, like a duck. I could swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefano, hast thou any more of this?
The whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, mooncalf, how does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush.
Come swear to that, and kiss the book. I will furnish it anon with new contents. Swear.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. That I feared of him, a very weak monster, the man in the moon, a most poor, credulous monster, well-drawn monster in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island, and I will kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When's God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come on then, down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster, a most scurvy monster. I could find in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But the poor monster's in drink, an abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
Oh, a most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young scammels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle, fellow Trinculo, will fill him by and by again.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell.
Oh, howling, drunken monster.
No more dams I'll make for fish, no fetching, firing at requiring, nor scrape trencher, nor wash dish. Ban, ban, Caliban has a new master, get a new man. Freedom, high day, freedom, freedom, high day, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.